Welcome back. You're watching our continuing coverage of Maha Verdict 2014, the India Today group hashtag Maha Verdict, trending #1 not just in India but trending #1 globally. For the first time, the hashtag chosen by any Indian media group trending on election day at #1 worldwide. This is definitely a super Sunday for all of us here on social media. We've got Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, who's tweeted a short while before now, and I want to play out his tweets. He's tweeted congratulating and thanking the people of Maharashtra and Haryana for the verdict that they've given. I now quote, "Historic results, a matter of immense happiness and pride for the BJP. I salute our karyakartas for their tireless efforts. Thanks to the people of Haryana for giving us the opportunity to fulfill their dreams and to take Haryana's development to new heights. Also, next week, my gratitude to the people of Maharashtra. We are committed to Maharashtra's progress and creating a Maharashtra the world will be proud of." Very interesting there, making it abundantly clear that the BJP will form the government. What we don't know yet though is where will the rest of the numbers come from. The BJP is exactly 20 short. The NCP has made an offer of unconditional support from the outside. The Shiv Sena says, we are waiting in one corner, come to us, approach us, then we will talk. The BJP says, we will not accept anybody's tantrums, we will go ahead and make our government. This is Diwali season, but what we are seeing right now is a game of bluff. Uddhav Thackeray playing bluff master, Amit Shah making his own bluff now that he's got the NCP on board offering an unconditional support. Who will win this game of bluff? We're focusing on that. Let's get started. These are the stories that have made the headlines this evening. BJP emerges as the single largest party in Maharashtra but falls short of a simple majority. NCP says it's ready to offer outside support to help the BJP form the government in the best interest of the state. BJP keeps its NCP option open. Sources tell headlines today that the BJP has decided not to seek support from any party but will accept outside support if offered. After the battle of the ballot, it's the battle of egos. Uddhav Thackeray announces decision to support only after BJP approaches them, says no one has approached the Shiv Sena so far. It's the end of the 10-year Congress rule in Haryana. BJP crosses the halfway mark easily, all set to form the next government in the state. Big celebrations at the BJP headquarters after trends show a clear saffron lead in Haryana and Maharashtra. The BJP Parliamentary Party Board meeting is currently underway. Former Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan accepts moral responsibility for Congress's Maha defeat. Rahul Gandhi puts out a statement, says the Congress will work hard once again to earn the confidence of the people. India Today's Cicero exit poll projected the BJP will fall short of the halfway mark in Maharashtra, and results from Super Sunday proved us bang on. The India Today hashtag Maha Verdict trending #1 worldwide. Who will be the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra? That's the critical question, and that's what we'll focus on headlines today. Just at this moment, I want to play out who the likely candidates are. At this time, and Chandan Mitra from the Bharatiya Janata Party is also joining us. Hopefully, he'll help shed some light on this. The man leading the pack is the man on your screen right now. Former Mayor of Nagpur, the youngest mayor Nagpur has ever had, Devendra Fadnavis. Blue-eyed boy of Narendra Modi, the RSS, and Amit Shah, and Om Mathur. This is the man they want as Chief Minister. By far, the #1 choice to be the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra. However, he has no experience in office. He's never been Chief Minister previously. He doesn't have a pan-Maharashtra appeal. He's a Nagpur Brahmin. Brahmins are only 3% of the total Maharashtra population. He isn't an OBC. BJP under Gopinath Munde would have had an OBC as Chief Minister. The BJP is perceived as being a Nagpur Brahmin party. That is what goes against him. However, he is Modi's choice. He has wide acceptability within his party. He's the state party unit chief, and he's honest, he's clean, he's young, he's well-spoken. The RSS loves him. Let's take the next candidate. This is Pankaja Munde. She's Gopinath Munde's daughter. arguably the most popular leader in the BJP in Maharashtra at this time, purely because of her father and the legacy that she carries and her surname. She's a first-time candidate, drew huge support in the rallies that happened across Maharashtra. Amit Shah told me that he was quite shocked with the kind of support that Pankaja Munde's rallies were generating. She's never held any form of office. She's hardly been in politics. She's a greenhorn. She spoiled her chances to some extent by suggesting that she wants to be chief minister, which she did over the weekend. That didn't go down well with the top brasses in Delhi. There is also the third option of Nitin Gadkari, former party president, a man who the RSS believes was done in unfairly when the party presidency was snatched away from him after charges were leveled against the Purti group. The RSS has an IOU on Gadkari. They would like Gadkari to be rehabilitated and to be given a position of eminence. There's a section in the RSS that would like to offer him the chief ministership. However, Gadkari himself is adamant that he doesn't want to go back. He wants to stay in Delhi. Siddharth Bhatia, Manani Chatterjee, two leading political journalists joining us. I want to go to Siddharth Bhatia first. Of these three likely options, who do you think will get to sit on that big chair at Mantralaya?
Well, earlier in the day here, right on this channel, I did put my money on Fadnavis.
Why are you betting on Fadnavis?
So I have the following reasons. Pankaja is way too young, and though the ABC push is there, it doesn't propel her directly to the chief minister's chair.
What about Gadkari?
Now, if they go with the Shiv Sena, Nitin Gadkari is out. Unless the BJP says, this is our man and you've got it.
But if they go with the NCP, which seems likely, then Nitin Gadkari actually has great relations with Ajit Pawar, with Sharad Pawar as well.
Yeah, a little, very close. He's very, very close.
Too close maybe for Modi's comfort?
Not necessarily. I think that's all politics. But Modi's choice, Mr. Shah's choice, the RSS choice is Fadnavis. They have invested in him. They want to give this image of now anointing a clean
And remember,
leader.
we can pull out those images. Nitin Gadkari, Narendra Modi's key man, key confidant, Amit Shah's close aide, Om Mathur, when he was in Mumbai, was feeding the laddu to Devendra Fadnavis. That laddu is not without meaning.
Just one last comment on that, and that is that if you have come on an anti-corruption plank, you want to put a very clean person.
No, but then when you tie up with the NCP,
We don't
that
know yet.
anti-corruption
We don't
plank
know.
goes out of the window. Manini Chatterjee, I want your thoughts.
You know, what I've heard from Bombay or Mumbai is that that 120 plus was the key.
No, you can't say Bombay. You say Bombay, in Bombay you get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah. No, so I think now that they've crossed 120, I think Mr. Fadnavis has a better chance. Because,
Why?
Because he was their first choice. Now, if you were, you know, sometime in the morning it had come down to about 108, below 110, and then you would be much more dependent on, you know, other parties. Now you just are 21 short. And after that, one big key development was Mr. Praful Patel coming out and unilaterally offering outside support, unconditional.
So you're also
once you
saying Fadnavis.
So I think Fadnavis. But Adu, I think I found it very curious that in a party like the BJP, which is very disciplined, that Pankaja Munde should have given that interview and said that I am a grassroots leader and the others are metro leader, and she had this Shiv Sena's backing. They didn't put up any candidate against her. There was more to it than.
No, but BJP top brass says that she was ill-advised, she's too young, she spoke out of turn. I want to go across to Chandan Mitra. He's joining us on this broadcast. The NCP offering outside support, Mr. Mitra. The NCP was called the natural corrupt party by Modi when he went to Baramati. We were there, we heard him say that. Now, how will you possibly do verbal somersaults to justify and explain taking outside support from the NCP, Mr. Mitra?
You see, outside support implies that we did not go out of our way to seek that support. And you know very well, Rahul, how things played out today, that suo motu, Mr. Praful Patel came and announced that for the sake of a stable government in Maharashtra, the NCP would support the only party that is in a position to form a government, which is the BJP, since it is by far the single largest party. So, in a sense, I know it is not proper, or it may sound kind of unfair to say that this is gratuitous support. We never asked for it. It has come. Now,
Mr.
since it is
Chandan
unconditional,
Mitra,
I don't
you
think it's a question of
sound
accepting
like
it or not
Arvind
accepting it.
Kejriwal just now. You sound like Arvind Kejriwal when he said the Congress is offering outside support. What can I do? We didn't ask for support. The Congress is supporting us. What can I do? Imagine Chandan Mitra sounding like Arvind Kejriwal. What do you make of that, Mr. Mitra?
No, I mean, you know, this is really the unkindest cut of all, Rahul. The last person I would want to sound like is Arvind Kejriwal, but it's a reality.
But that's
that
exactly
BJP
what
did not
Kejriwal
ask
said as
for
well.
support.
That is exactly what the Aam Aadmi Party said.
BJP, let us leave some of these people, non-serious players out of purview, and let's focus on the serious political parties. The BJP did not ask for support. NCP gave
But how can you even morally take support? Now, one second, Mr. Mitra, you will need to explain and justify. How can you morally take support? When Modi goes to Baramati, he says naturally corrupt party. Your entire campaign is predicated on targeting Sharad Pawar, saying that they've looted sugarcane money, they're running corrupt cooperatives. Now you say you're in bed with them, you're embracing them, you'll do business with them? Won't that dent Modi's moral standing?
This is absolutely unfair. You have no business putting words in my mouth. I have not said, not once in the course of what I said just now, did I say that we are going to accept. The question I said, the question of accepting, rejecting does not arise at the moment because we have not sought their support. And right now the BJP Parliamentary Board is meeting. They will decide whether to accept, not to accept, whatever. You ask me these questions later. Let's first take a stand.
We're heading into a very short break, Mr. Mitra. We're returning to you because the BJP will have a certain amount of explaining to do. Given the position that they took in Delhi, where they chose, despite having the option of taking support and forming the government, not to form the government, saying, we haven't got the mandate, we won't form the government. How does the logic change? Remember, there are 32 seats, they needed 35 in Delhi. They chose not to form the government. They are still 20 short of a majority, yet they choose to form the government. It's a moral dilemma, regardless of what anybody from the BJP says, and questions will indeed be asked, and we'll ask those questions. And I want to introduce now Yogendra Yadav from the Aam Aadmi Party, who's joining us on what ramifications the verdict today could potentially have for government formation and elections in Delhi. There was a sense that maybe the BJP will maneuver towards forming a government in Delhi or call for early elections once the verdict comes out. How do you think the BJP falling short of a majority in Maharashtra impacts what might happen in Delhi, sir?
Maybe I'm simple-minded, Rahul, but I thought that now that BJP has acquired some confidence after the victory in Haryana and after a fairly good show in Maharashtra as well, they would pick up the courage and call for elections in Delhi. I thought this was the most natural political corollary, but from what I hear, that's not what's happening. So I'm surprised. Maybe
what are you hearing,
sir? In a straight way. What I hear largely from media circles, I should say, it's not from political circles, and I cannot quote anyone, but what I hear is senior BJP leaders of Delhi saying we will form government within the next 48 hours if only we have a go ahead from the high command. So
Chandan Mitra, is that correct?
Culture.
The BJP wanting to form a government in the current scenario despite the hodgepodge that exists?
Well, you must ask the source of the news, namely Mr. Yogendra Yadav, because he is not naming who said this. I don't think BJP has taken any formal decision in the matter. The Supreme Court is pressing the government of Delhi to say what is to be done. Yeah, obviously some position will be taken, and now a favorable situation has arisen. That is all I can say. But finally, it is up to
favorable
the
position for what?
And the Delhi
for
party
government formation at the current juncture or for fresh polls? Favorable position for what, Mr. Mitra?
Yeah, there's only two options. That either we form a government and let us hope that some people will come to support it, some of the MLAs. We know that many have been approaching, but a decision is yet to be taken. Whether we accept that and go for government formation, or we go and ask for
Manisha
a fresh election.
There's a bigger question. If you accept outside support from the NCP to form the government in Maharashtra, you cannot say no to a similar formulation in Delhi. The likes of Satish Upadhyay, Jagdish Mukhi will say, oh, we also want a share of power in Delhi, and if you can do the same in Mumbai, why not in Delhi?
Yeah, I mean, I'd still go back to what's happening in Maharashtra. It just seems like hours ago, there was the BJP out there, Mr. Ajit Pawar being targeted in the region of Vidarbha as being the man, and his statements being said as the example of how the dying farmer is going to be denied of water. So here you make direct promises to the people, but when it comes to the time of government formation, political parties that are close to being invited by the governor claim immunity from even discussing the fact as to what the likely government formation is going to be. Keep the people engaged with the kind of promises that you've just about made round the corner on street level election rallies.
No, but if
so
they
I can
don't
see,
do that,
no,
they
I
can't
see
form
that
a
the BJP NCP government, how are they ever going to maintain that plank of anti-corruption? They said, we'll give you water, but we'll give it to you on a clean anti-corruption
And they said
plank.
we will investigate the corruption charges against Ajit
Absolutely.
Pawar,
So
which Prithviraj Chavan did not do adequately. Does this take the moral halo away from the BJP?
That's the crux of the issue. That's the crux of the issue.
Absolutely. The kind of support is what I would be interested in understanding.
How having won the election on the basis of saying that the NCP is corrupt, are they going to take outside support and not investigate them? And if they did investigate them, where would that outside support go? Poof, out. That's why
That's a very important question. It's a very critical issue. I need to slip into a very quick break. This is very interesting. We will focus on this. How can you call up for a party, the naturally corrupt party, and then in the next instance, after the results, take their support to form the next government in Maharashtra? Can somebody who considers himself an anti-corruption crusader do this? What moral position will he have left? We'll talk about that.